answer these questions plus many more. John K. OK and Princess Elesa Vante Colley from Monday to Thursday at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the program Freedom Hub, for the most informative talk show that brings the real issue without fear to the Liberian people on Freedom FM 87.9.
Gabriel had to go see to the main store.
So the mayor wanted for you to go steal from the web post store.
Yeah, he said I'm joining to go see to the web main store to get money to the store. Then we go take it from there. I said, my man, how many bars for the same leisure?
And how can the people catch you now?
The people, before the mayor called me back, now on the 18th, they more.
The same man now.
Yeah, the same man.
The same man who want for you to go steal.
Yeah, he called me on the 18th.
Yeah.
Now in a man, around 8:30, the man called me. He said, "Oh, I mean, I election building, I'll call you back again."
So that time you go to work?
I go to work.
Before your working place, you come to the man.
Yeah, I'm from my working area to Clarence to now go to the man.
To go steal now?
No, I'm not go steal. I mean, I go to yeah.
I see man say go steal.
You question me, man. Anything you want for me to explain for you to understand?
Yeah.
Then still questioning me, doubling the question. How many talk clear now?
Okay, go now. I beg you, sorry.
I say,
when they call you in the now.
When the man call me in there,
yeah.
He asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
I told the message, you're 3.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea to carry to the.
The message, you want to give you what?
Tea. Have milk tea.
Oh, milk tea?
Yeah.
I need to drink.
With bread.
The bread.
3 pieces of bread.
The egg is that?
You enter my butter. So, when I carry it to the man, say, carry it to the man. When you give it to the man, then you will come back to the car.
So the food make you now, you carry that so you can go convince your friend now.
Yeah. When I give it to the man, the man say, thank you. I say, okay. The man say, oh, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going very car. So one of my friend called me.
And the same man going to now?
Yeah, the same man.
The man say, want for you to go steal.
Yeah. So when I go to the man, he say, clean the car. Then there are 2 now.
In the Jeep?
In the Jeep. Then there are 2.
Big Jeep?
Yeah. Black BG, photo G. Yeah. So when I clean the car now,
air condition all is that?
No. Papa, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave the water now. You can judge people.
I'm just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people like you come here.
No, I'm a journalist. I'm begging sorry.
The way you talk in the question, people say when I move from here, I'll free. People say when I move from here, I'll free. You say one talk again. I wanted to mean who talk clear to you, but you talk in the question. Hi, looking. Then you want force and now more word there again. Why not be looking to the talk? I'm not going to talk again. And said they call me to the office of OSP.
I think you explain to me that you come to get there. You say you carry the tea to the man. After you carry the tea to the man, and you come now. So what next now?
And for me, I'll not there.
Nobody, you getting very. You say asking you too much question. Hey, there's people say make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry.
If you
I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give you answer now, then you.
Okay. Explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, let's go now.
Go to school. The English say I'm learning the English.
Sorry. Sorry now. Sorry.
See, Ali, you take that. You take that.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Say I can take that
to explain. Okay.
My brother, God can bless anybody.
It's the Win Liberia Cash Giveaway on Freedom FM. Yes, the Win Liberia Cash Giveaway is here. For just 50 LD or 25 cents USD, you can win from 5K, 6K, 8K, and 10K LD. To play the Win Liberia Cash Giveaway, dial *255*1#. Again, dial *255*1#. The more you play,
the better your chances. It's the Win Liberia Cash Giveaway on Freedom 87.9 FM.
Freedom Communication Incorporated brings to you Freedom Hub. Freedom Hub, a 2-hour informative forum where key issues are discussed to shift the destiny of our country positively.
The same allegation of corruption, there are multiple cases where current officials of this government are being alleged to be deeply involved with corruption. Why not subject them to the same treatment? If Master Kimia can be good enough to go to prison on allegation of corruption, I mean, Moda should be good enough to go to prison as well.
This is to me, you know exactly what happened up Capitol. You have the evidence to prove what happened up Capitol beyond all reasonable doubt. So we do not have to keep running in circles. Investigation is now a single day. The government of Liberia is an interest. It's a party in this case.
Despite of the many challenges in Liberia, poor education, joblessness, and underdevelopment, the question are, how will Liberians be reconciled with self-division, divisive, and destructive politics?
Let me address this private jet issue. My response may not go down well. As Dara Dera, who campaigned against private jet, use of private jet against President Weah. I want to publicly apologize to President Weah. We did not understand the constraints and the reasons and the justification. So using private jet.
What troubles me is to hear a sitting president, Joseph Parker, and his men to try to tear our country apart. We are a post-conflict nation. Our peace is fragile. What we need to do is to reconcile and bring our people together, not to separate us, not to divide us, not to destroy this country anymore.
How can Liberians decide on progressiveness and think on how they can build and develop their country? How can 178 years old country build capacity of young Liberians and create job opportunity and enable the Liberian citizens to live a better life? Answer these questions plus many more. John K.O.K. and Princess Elessa Vante Colley from Monday to Thursday at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the program Freedom Hub, for the most informative talk show that brings the real issue without fear to the Liberian people on Freedom FM 87.9.
Guess what? Now people come up here. Oh, we didn't eat here with me then. Just start up and they get a what's more like edition tagging for free bowl. I was said to you know, it's say we didn't buy it yet. Say, we more time never.
It's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. Now will you give the rescue? You not give him the people what they want. Then you say you give the rescue. Let me ask you. Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you. You say you coming to rescue your people. Oh, that's why you to us. No. You even claim to even be the hero. You're the serious, but why you to us? So why the rest now stable? No job, no food, no food on the table. No just for the poor. Once you not get no money, rest and show your kids get poor. No opportunity for the youth. Instead of help people, you picking property on the youth. Tell me why the people vote you for. You treating the people. I hate to say you not alone. It's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. That will you give the rescue? You not give him the people what they want. Then you say you give the rescue. Let me ask you. It's a rescue. The people say not like you. You say you are going to change things. But we not seeing changes. Promises you made you and your rescue team. We not seeing changes. You made the whole country team. divided into two. CDC and Unity Party, they can't conclude. You downsizing, you wish haunting. Now on the top of the Liberian people suffering. You downsizing, you wish haunting. Now on the top of the Liberian people suffering. Tell me who you rather give the rescue now. You and your rescue team. I say, it's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. Now who you give the rescue? You not give him the people what they want. Then you say you give the rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue. The people say not like you. That's what I am. Mr. Rescue, I just wanna ask you one question. That will you give the rescue? You not give him the people what they want, and then you say you give the rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the sort of vigilante.
Guess what? The people come and play. Oh, we they EPA with me. The sun all men and they get a small institution taking for free bowl. I was said to you know, it's all say we the market. Yes, say na. We mo do tap in ba. Ibo running down.
It's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. Now will you give the rescue? You not give him the people what they want. Then you say you give the rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you. You say you coming to rescue your people. Oh, now why you tell us? No. You even claim to even be the hero for your experience. But why you for us? So why the rest now stable? No job, no food, no food on the table. No just for the poor. Once you not get no money, rest and show your kids get poor. No opportunity for the youth. Instead of help people, you bringing property on the youth. Tell me why the people vote you for. You treating the people. I hate to say you not alone. It's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question that we. You give the rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue. The people say not like you. You say you are going to change things. Haunting. Now on the top of the Liberian people suffering. You downsizing, you wish haunting. Now on the top of the Liberian people suffering. Tell me who you rather give the rescue now. You and your rescue team. I say, it's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. Now who you give the rescue? You not give him the people what they want. Then you say you give the rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you. That's what I
Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and a pleasant welcome to all of you. This is Freedom Radio Liberia on 87.9. The program is Freedom Hub on your People's Radio. My name is Kyle Oliver Kyle. Alexa is here today. There are 2 minute things to talk about on this wonderful Monday afternoon in the nation's capital. New videos from the crime scene.
You downsizing.
New videos, coming out from the crime scene where the Liberian National Police murdered a citizen. Will further reveal too many acts of violence and brutality by state security forces.
I just wanna ask you one question. Now will you give the rest?
And again, we'll say to you,
you not give him the people what they want.
Mr. Moba.
Rescue. Let me ask you, Mr.
was gruesomely murdered by the Liberian National Police, and we are asking the family to sue the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Justice. The police are on duty. They were kind of very brutal. The attitude they exhibited was purely an act of rebel behavior. That is an act equated that can be equated to rebel attitude. And so we're going to talk about all of those issues.
Mr. Rescue, I just want to ask you one question. That will you give the rest?
Meanwhile, we are told that Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence, the pro temp of the Liberian Senate, is contemplating
but we're not seeing changes.
Is contemplating on filing lawsuit against some citizens of Liberia who are in the business of insulting her on social media, according to what we learned. So we are told Senator Kanga Lawrence is trying to file lawsuit against some citizens who are insulting her. And this is because a lady who is in her office is also seen on Facebook insulting the former president, his family, and other officials of his government. And so some of the supporters of the former president and other Liberians decided to also return the favor.
Let me ask you.
And so they said, since this lady is working with the pro temp, and she's there insulting the former president and other key individuals in the country, it is important that they too return the favor by insulting her boss lady and saying some things too about her boss lady. And so the boss lady too said, look, you will not say that thing about me, it will go free. So according to what we are learning is that Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence is contemplating on suing some of those individuals who she believed are in the business of making terrible comments about her regarding to too many issues that that she's not finding prudent. But we'll talk about it. Should that be the case in the country?
CDC and Unity Party, they can't come.
One guy said Pepper can hear in door. And so all of it, all of those will form the basis of the conversation. But before then, join the conversation as we talk more about the upcoming groundbreaking ceremony.
I just want to ask you one question. Now you give the rest.
The Congress for Democratic Change
Do not give him the people what they want. There you say.
will be breaking ground on the 18th of October 2025. And that's this Saturday. On this Saturday, there will be a groundbreaking ceremony in Congo Town, opposite the RC Lawson School. The CDC is going to be breaking ground for the administrative headquarters of the political party. All of these, plus many other conversations, will form the basis of today's presentation. My name is Kai. LSI is here. We will take our break. We bring you warriors from Crime Stoppers Liberia. By the time that is done, we also go to Win Liberia. We bring you some warriors from Win Liberia, where you can win some money. On today, it is the $5,000 day. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk more about the $5,000. The more you play, the better your chances are, and the code remains the same: *255*1#.
Tell me who you rather give the rescue now.
At the end of the day, was able to open the sea to Liberia and the rest of the world. That Liberia's current permanent position non-permanent position at the United Nations is as a result of job done by former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister D. Maxwell Sakimia, and His Excellency George Manuel Weah, the German ambassador, credited the position of Liberia at the UN non-permanent level to diplomatic jobs done by the previous administration, particularly the ambassador D. Maxwell Sakimia, who was the then Foreign Affairs Minister, and His Excellency George Manuel Weah, the president of the country at the time.
Miss Arrest.
We take a few bars of our team song when we come back.
I just wanna ask you one
Alexa will bring you some, talking points from Orange Liberia, hopefully.
people what they want, then you see.
Then we'll run into the rest of it here on 87.9. Have yourself a wonderful time and let's ride together.
This country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia. We want peace in.
Okay, all right, so welcome back to the program Freedom Hub on 87.9. Alexa, you look gorgeous today. Good afternoon. Yeah.
I like
Own it today.
like a typical Liberian.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Because whenever you say you look beautiful today, they be like, oh, so I can be ugly before. But anyways, I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. It is good being back on the radio after a few days being a bit under the weather. It is good being back on the radio, and I would like to say Happy New Week to all of you. And thank you so much, Oliver, for the compliments. I look good as always. I look fresh, and that's good. But we have a lot to talk about today. So, however, when you're joining us, we'd like to say welcome. So, Orange Liberia, just to restate some of the things I said last week, Orange Liberia still has this Flybox router for internet services at your office, your home, or just wherever. It is on sale for $69. So purchase that and be able to enjoy internet access at your office. You don't need to just use your phone. Also, we still have the exclusive offer on Max8 app. That is $1 for 1 gigabyte, and it goes for 30 whole days. Also, there's an ongoing international offer to be able to stay connected. Whether you want to talk to your family members or your loved ones, Orange Liberia has this for you. Dial *250# and you will have all of the different prompts and choose exactly what you want. Also, to be able to enjoy promotional data packages, one of the codes to use is *222#, and you will have different options for $1, $2, up to $5. So continue using Orange Liberia because Orange is here to stay. On that note, we have a lot to talk about. So let's keep this going together.
Okay, so basically that's exactly where we are. Alexa, I want you to go and read the communication from yes. So to play, you got to dial *255*1#. But Emmanuel Penn, you're away in America, except you have a Lone Star Cell MTN mobile money account, then you can play it. So it's *255*1#. You follow the rest of the prompt messages, you put in your code, you could win some money. But in the next couple of minutes, we'll be giving some money here on the platform. But Alexa will read you a particular story. Now listen, when the Liberian government, Minister Sarah Beslow Yanti, went to America and decided to continue what her predecessor had left behind, for her to implement, or for the country to implement if the country, would deem it necessary. When she went there, the guys were very good enough from the beginning. They wrote the former president acknowledging his role in the non-permanent position, in Liberia's quest towards securing the non-permanent positions slot at the UN. They also wrote the former Minister of Foreign Affairs. At a certain point in time, the very government that previously acknowledged their predecessor for the tremendous job done in securing or attempting to secure the seat, they started to play the thing down. They say, oh, you know what? We will not get them credit anymore. We'll run a jet. We don't want to give birth to it, just like it is our initiative. And so even up to the point where this non-permanent position was awarded Liberia, the folks in power treated it from the dime minute like it was their own initiative, like something they pick up from scratch. And so that debate was on. We could not understand ourselves. Everybody said, "Oh yeah, you started, but you're not to do." So the German ambassador, according to the publication Alexa is about to read from Front Page Africa, went to one program in Monrovia. I don't know whether it was a German, holiday or whatever the case is, and was able to make it clear that Liberia's position at the UN, specifically at the non-permanent level, is as a result of the job both former Minister D. Maxwell Sakimiya did and the leadership of former President George Weah. So it came from the Germans. And mind you, there is a diplomatic quoting, but unless I will read it, then we'll come back to do the analysis about what that is, and we can jump to other issues here on the platform.
Okay, so this is from Front Page Africa, and it is October the 10th, 2025 publication. It says, Germany credits ex-President Weah Kemea for Liberia's landmark UN Security Council victory. On the occasion of German Unity Day celebration, celebrated in Monrovia on October 6th.
German Unity Day.
Yeah.
Good.
Germany's ambassador to Liberia, Dr. Jacob Haselhuber, delivered a diplomatic tribute that placed former Liberian President George Manuel Weah and his then Foreign Minister D. Maxwell Sakimiya.
Delivered a diplomatic tribute.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
At the center of Liberia's historic election to the United Nations Security Council for the 2026 to 2027 term.
What did he say?
Describing the Security Council victory as the result of steady and consistent diplomacy. Haselhuber said the initiative was conceptualized, designed, and launched under the Weah administration before being carried forward by President Joseph Yuman Boakai and current Foreign Minister Sarah Beslo Yanti.
It was conceptualized,
designed,
the concept,
and launched.
The concept of this thing. The concept also all about the idea. That who thought about it? Who crafted the initial plan? Who did that? I mean, that was what the German ambassador was saying. Go ahead.
Liberia's candidacy for the Security Council began with the vision and leadership of former President Weah and former Foreign Minister Kemea.
It began with the leadership and vision of former President Weah and his Foreign Minister D. Maxwell Sakimiya. Go ahead.
Haselhuber stated, highlighting their role in positioning Liberia as a credible voice in global governance. The groundwork they laid through engagement with the African Union, ECOWAS, and bilateral partners formed the foundation for a successful campaign.
The groundwork that they laid, the work that they were able to do. That's why bulk of the countries that voted for Liberia, bulk of the countries that stood with Liberia, that's why they pledged their support. Go ahead.
The highlight of Liberia's campaign was the unprecedented support it garnered at the UN General Assembly. 181 votes, a figure described as precedent setting by visiting Germany Foreign Office official Florian Lodi, Germany's UN director. Lodi, who also addressed the gathering, paid special tribute to the often unseen diplomatic tour behind the scenes, saying, "I know how much cumbersome work that implies over a long period. I really feel you can be proud that you achieved 181 votes that set the precedent. The process to secure a seat on the Security Council takes a very long time due to several procedures." He pointed specifically to the personal commitment and sustained advocacy of Kemea during Liberia's campaign phase, adding that the vote count was a testament to diplomatic consistency across administrations.
Okay.
While the campaign was formalized during former President Weah's term, Germany's envoy noted that the Boakai administration provided continuity, with Foreign Minister Beslo Yanti guiding the process to its final diplomatic success.
Okay, so
far
that is cool. So far, now listen, we got no reason going over this particular conversation because the permanent position Liberia currently occupies at the UN I'm sorry to say, but it is baseless. The
So
current administration is not dignifying the role Liberia is playing at the United Nations based on what's happening domestically in our country. The UN is an institution, Alexa, that is noted for being a human rights driven organization that would champion the rights of people all across the world to ensure that people have access to everything, the quality of life, whether it is through the UNHCR, whether it is through the WFP, whether it is through, all of the different UN sub-organs. Regrettably, a non-permanent position holder at the level of the United Nations is still struggling to have the rule of law properly upheld. But that's not the conversation. The main conversation is the fact that it had to take the Europeans, the international diplomatic cycle, to acknowledge what this current administration should have done. All that celebration they were doing in was it New York or so? Mm-hmm. All they needed to have done after they don't finish wasting the money in the air, because they don't waste the US dollars at the Liberian embassy. He did that. The Liberian office rather. After all of what they were doing, wasting money, all they needed to have done was grab one microphone and give some acknowledgement. We are grateful that Liberia has won the non-permanent seat at the level of the UN. We're grateful. We also want to thank the former administration. This was a vision hatched by the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister D. Master Sakimia. We also want to acknowledge the oversight and great job of the former president. Without the both, initiating this, we wouldn't have been here. But we are also excited that we were able to implement, we're able to consummate this particular vision. That's how a responsible administration will do. That's how a responsible, government will implement that theory of government being an issue of continuity. But we didn't see that initially. Whether they were scheming or not, they did 1-2 communication. At the end of the day, they decided to politicize the very situation. And when Liberia got the seat finally, they treated the seat as their own personal making. And this was terrible. This was very, very terrible. I saw the guys. Look, the UN color is blue, Alexa. Mm-hmm. The UN color is blue. Liberia's national colors are red, white, and blue. But what did we see happening in Liberia? Green. When they were crafting the insignia and the different materials, the different graphic designs they were doing to do publicity. Flyers. When they were doing it, they designed the brochures, the magazines, the flyers, the leaflets, the different printing materials in green and white, symbolizing the dominant colors in the Unity Party, regalia. They abandoned the Liberian national colors, red, white, and blue, and they created, printing materials that were dominant UP colors. That is to tell you to what extent they went to own that project. Regrettably, the German ambassador had to come to Liberia and say, "Hey, we are grateful that you guys were able to complete it, but this thing started from this place, this other place." Look, it's easier to lie when you want power, but it is difficult to lie to keep that power, because the truth will come out. It is sad that it had to take the Germans at their own program to say, "So me, I know now when you want to stop them again. In your program, they said that into." So if it was something around the Independence Day, they would have said, "Okay, we're not invite the German ambassador to our program again." But it was a German working a day, German Labor Day or something. Yeah. It was one of the holidays in Germany. They were trying to commemorate it right here in Liberia.
German Unity
Day. And when the man was speaking, the man made it clear. Imagine the man had to take advantage of their national holiday, their own sovereign day, to pass that message across to us. Now, a lot of people do not understand the diplomatic implication of what that man was saying. Before Alexa will wrap in on it, so we jump to other topics. When you find one of the missions in any country, for example, for example, Liberia, we got the EU, we have ECOWAS, we have AU, we got the US embassy, and the different European countries that got their embassy or consulate, whatever the case is in Liberia. When you find that one of the powerful countries decide to issue an opinion on some of the policy issues of that particular host country, when that starts to happen, don't ever fool yourself to think that that particular country issuing that statement is doing it alone. It is a consensus of the international partners in that host country. The intent of that is to send a clear diplomatic message from an indirect perspective to the host government that you are diplomatically erring. And it's very simple. So they were telling the guys, look, we are not happy with the way you are exhibiting non-tolerant position. But you know what? We'll not speak as EU. We'll not speak as EU. We'll not speak as the different stuff, but we speak to one person. Diplomatically, that's how they operate. They will not tell you that the statement is being made on behalf of the diplomatic cycle of Liberia. No. One of the institutions will come and say it. Because you know why? They all work together. Before the Americans, the French, the Germans and whoever in Liberia got their offices there before they issue some critical statement, there are consultations that will go on. They normally do consultation. Look, you know what? We are noticing the election, as people in government of France, we think this is what's happening. What do you guys think? The Americans will come and say, okay, you know what? Although you observe this, but we observe this one from this other angle, so you may want to see our evidence so that it will inform your final decision you want to take. So when the Americans go see it or the French go see it and they notice that they didn't have the real sufficient information, they could use the other one. At the end of the day, these diplomatic partners who are assigned to our country will build consensus on a particular subject matter. So now when you look at it, so look, for us to leave a space for dialogue, diplomatically, people normally leave space for dialogue. For us to leave a space for dialogue and subsequent consultation, America don't post, France don't post, Germany go Turkey. Germany go Turkey. The affected, partner in the country, the affected, party will want to run to the Americans and say, "Oh, Germany says something we didn't like it." America will say, "Yeah, but I think Germany said we observe it. It's just that we cannot talk about it because we were planning our own thing." When they go run to France, France will say that the same thing. You run to the EU of the EU, say, "But we already got that same thing on our decks." That's how they operate diplomatically. So it was a total disgrace for our foreign friends to come and remind us that there is a need that you people, recognize the effort of one another, regardless of who's in charge of the country. But it's good that this debate was laid down to rest. Let it be clearly stated that this was never a unity party operation. The same way the current are going to Bakleve, the current are going to Sano is not a unity party thing. That's how most of these things are. The people in Grand Bassa County before Elessa coming, right in Buchanan. Elessa, when you go to Buchanan, 2020, 2021, on the left, before entering Buchanan City, you will see the substation. It's a different conversation, different day. The substation used to be there with lights on it. The second phase of the project could not go on because it needed the resources to arrive, the poles, the light poles, the tension wires, the different cables to arrive. And then election came. So then the materials were waiting for election year. When the materials came 2024, they bought and connecting the thing, and they are not even giving one credit. So imagine the Germans had to come and remind this current government to keep giving credit because the whole world knows directly that bulk of the things the guys are doing today are things that they inherited. So please, the next time you give credit where it is due, because that's the most responsible thing to do as a government. Alexa, let's just wrap on it, then we can go to other issues.
So I think what was said on Germany Unity Day is basically what we've been saying, because in other words, give credit where credit is due. It is that simple. Mm-hmm. And we've said that times without number. We've said that, countless times right here on this platform. There are a couple of different projects, let's disregard this one for now. I'm going to get back to it. There are a couple of different projects in Liberia dedicated by Joseph Yuma Boakai. And a lot of the times, or all the times, in fact, when they did those things, when they dedicated those projects, they did not give credit where credit is due, or where credit should be given. And then when people pointed out their disappointment, people pointed out that was basically inappropriate in as much as a government is a continuity. 100%. If Alexa was president and started some projects, Oliver is now president, Oliver is going to continue. No one is disproving that. But at the end of the day, Oliver needs to give credit. That's respect. That also says a lot about your character as a leader. But all those things were not done. I remember in Rivers says when they were trying to, I think it was one of the courts, right?
The courts.
Exactly.
The courts.
And even though you had a part on the war that has some inscriptions, and George Weah's name was there.
They call it wet cloth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still they managed to just hide that part, and it doesn't make sense. So to have one of your international partners, to have one of your international allies to mention that after a couple of weeks, after a couple of months, and then it says a lot. I think that signals exactly what you should be doing, and it doesn't need to take your foreign partners to tell you that, when and they didn't even spell it out in ways that you go straight to the point. No, but they just gave credit to former President George Manuel Weah and former Foreign Affairs Minister D. Maxwell Sakemia. They talked about their efforts. They talked about how they started this whole thing. They talk about the concept of it, or the design, and everything else. So that's credit. And if your international ally is teaching you what you should do as an experienced lawyer, as an experienced president, as an experienced leader,
experienced government, by the way,
experienced government in all, it says a lot about who you are or what you're doing. It is that simple. And this whole UN thing, Oliver, I remember when we had the bicentennial here on our platform, you raised an issue about national events should be handled nationally. You do away with wearing your political party uniform, and you talked about that because at the time we had some of our friends in CDC.
Look, let me clear on it. When we had the national bicentennial event, there was a program at the Montreal City Hall, and I saw people wearing CDC berets. We came on this radio, we said it was wrong because that was a national program. Some of our friends in the CDC had issue with us,
and that was like a conversation.
But we are honest
for more than a day. Right, for more than a day, that was the conversation, and I'm just reminded again when you're talking about some of the colors that were used, especially for maybe T-shirts, for flyers, and all those things to just publicize the celebration of what Liberia had already gotten at the UN General Assembly, or at getting the non-permanent seat. So it still gets back to it again. So I think moving forward, what you do as a responsible government, if you had a project that was commissioned, a project that was conceptualized, that was designed, or to some extent that was done by your predecessor, all you do, give credit. Give credit. The diplomatic, message is already clear. People who understand it. People who do not, well, they don't. And we're not going to go way too much in that. But I think at the end of the day, they just summed up our message year and year. The people in this give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, right? So where credit is due, give it.
Okay.
You will not die. Nothing will happen to you. It wouldn't take away the fact that you are now the president of Liberia. It wouldn't take away the fact that you now run a rescue government, right? This is your administration. So do what you can. And it is that simple, because the time for campaign is over. If you're going to reference D. Maxwell Sakemia's name,
it will not change the fact that
it wouldn't change the fact that
government
you now,
is a unity party government.
It wouldn't change the fact that you now have a new foreign affairs minister.
Good.
If you referenced George Manuel Weah, if you had given him credit, his administration credit, it still wouldn't take away the fact that we now have President Joseph Yuma Boakai as our president. No, it doesn't. It doesn't take away that. It doesn't take anything away from you. But when you want to prove points so much, and you disprove of a person's legacy, and you just want to erase it. You just want to cover that whole thing up. And it is a book, like history book. You cannot cover it because you will have a lot of historians still telling the stories. You will have a lot of people still narrating from different angles, whether international angle or national angle. You're going to have these different angles coming together again, talking about this particular story. So you cannot erase it. And I don't want to say you claim to be responsible because it sounds like I want you now. But if you are responsible as you claim to be, you do what a responsible person does.
That's right.
So we don't need to tell you like we're teaching you things that you should know, things that you should be teaching us. So I mean, we're still here and moving forward. Since the folks from Germany, they've already talked about it at the Unity Day. Moving forward, because I know there's still a couple of different projects. You spoke about the one at when you go in Grand Bassa, the electricity thing. I saw a post quite recently again.
It is an EU project.
Yeah.
EU did a project under the WIAS administration.
Exactly.
Regrettably, the guys are owning it. They're claiming it. They're doing everything.
I saw a post again, and they're still doing the same thing.
Yeah. So,
So it's really crazy, and I hope we can move past that, because you're not to be petty. You're not to be. So yeah.
Okay. So that's it. So the German government was able to acknowledge that it was Master Kimia Aime, they were the ones who did all of the heavyweight lifting to get the non-permanent seat at the United Nations General Assembly secured for Liberia.
For something like that to be a success, very well it didn't start 2024. Like, it is a whole process, because that was also mentioned. It is a long process of procedures, and it takes a lot to do what is to be done to get to that point. So in your own self mind, you can't empower today 2024, then you started the campaign, or you just started working on it and all that. No. So it is simple. But
okay. All right. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So keep it coming into *255*1#. I think there are people who are lined up right now that we are going to be paying some money to. But let's start the next conversation quickly. Christopher Sapo, I'm not seeing WhatsApp here. I hope WhatsApp is going to come. Okay. All right. Okay. I now see it. Now listen. Alexa, did you follow the police? The last minute of it.
Interestingly,
the police killed that man.
Interestingly, I followed.
The police killed the man, and it is very shameful on the part of the Liberian National Police. I'm disappointed in Gregory Como and the entire police force of our country. When you watch the last video, and I'm going to try to get the videos. When you watch the last videos, you will understand particularly that the people murdered the boy. They killed an innocent, and I repeat, they killed an innocent citizen. That was terrible. That was really, really, really terrible. And I'm trying to get the video. I just formatted this form because Alexa. I formatted the whole form because my phone can get heavy. I can clear it. Yes. If one of my people listening who normally supply me, I beg you, please send me the video. The second video where this man, after they finish shooting him, after they are gone through, they've gotten through, shooting him 8 times, and according to some people on the ground, the guys were so desperate enough to kill the man till they started missing him. So some of the bullets did not go in him, but some touched him. After shooting the man, we got to realize that they handcuffed the man. Imagine you finish shooting the man, then they handcuff him. The man got bullet all in his system. Please send me the video. I'm trying to ask for the video. I don't know why it is not coming. I'm trying to ask for the video. Oh my God. I mean, this thing was cleared. Please, if anybody listening out there get the video, please send it to me. Please send it to me. Okay. Please send it to me. Okay, so please send it to me if you have that video. I don't know why I did not place it strategically. Yeah. But I will find it. I will find the video. Send it to my WhatsApp if you have it. I think, yeah. Okay, you can go to our room. Go to our room, you will get it. I mean, we can play it from that angle, but when you go to our room, you will. No, you have a lot. No, that's not the one. That's not the particular one. Okay, this is it. Yep, this is it particularly. And I want you guys to listen to what happened. Then that's why I say I'm disappointed in the police. The Liberia National Police, I'm disappointed in the police. Very, very disappointed. Very, very disappointed in the police. Just hold on. I wonder this is it. I wonder please forward that part of it. Forward it. Let's see whether the guy, whether they will force him to be walking in that video that you have.
Which one?
Yeah, no, not this one. Not this one. Please bear with us.
Yeah.
Bear with us.
This is it, yeah.
Where they were forcing him to walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I said.
So hold on, fellow Liberians. We're coming to play it for you. We're about to play it for you. The thing Gregory Como go talk, say this and that. After they got through shooting this man, the man still has small strength in him. Listen to it. Can you imagine the male was already having bullets in him, still struggling with life. If only the police had taken that man and rushed him to hospital immediately, if they had treated him with dignity, if they had taken the time to treat to look after him, this wouldn't have happened to him. I'm not too sure. But the man had bullets in him. They had handcuffs on his hand, and they were dragging him. Listen to it. We're going to show you to those of you on screen. Listen to it.
You can see the family.
Very much. The man already has a bullet in him, and the guys had the man sitting on the ground. So imagine somebody got bullet in the stomach. He making the man to sit down on the ground with his two hands in handcuff. His two hands in handcuff. He's sitting down with bullets in his stomach, and the other man is telling you go to good jail. Then the man him to stand up, to walk. He walked 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. He fell, and that was it. That thing you call policing? Hey, I mean that's when you fell. Look here. And all the way the man fell down, they still have handcuff on the man. The man got bullet in him. Over 2 bullets in his system. You still have handcuff on the man who got bullet in him. So I mean, just get it up. It's good we already played. Look, this is very silly. And the sad part of it is the fact that I see people doing politics with the situation. They won't get no unity party in CC Benin. You sit in your corner while you are encouraging police brutality, and you think you are doing politics. You are endangering your own life. That's the first thing you do. Nowhere around the world should citizens allow politics to make them support brutality from the police or brutality from civilians. We condemn violence in any form, regardless of who's involved. We condemn it. And that's why it is alarming when you find law enforcement officers who are supposed to be upholding the laws of the country and safeguarding the country's peace. When you find them behaving brutally, it says a lot about the future of that country. And Liberia is the country we're talking about. I mean, look at what you see happening. The man got bullets in him. You still cuff him. You're making him to sit down. Who got bullet in the spinal cord or their abdomen and whatever the case is, and you still make the person to sit down? Do you know what you're doing? Now he's not only sitting down, he's not even having the opportunity to rest on his hand. You got your hands all tied up. You handcuff it. And what no call there telling the man, on him. Come on, this is bad. It reminds me of the war. I mean, that's how the rebels will behave. They strip you naked, brutalize you, pierce your skin with sharp objects, fire you at will. Those are things that we see during the war. We don't expect to see these kind of things in a democratic space, especially under a government that prides herself with the tendency and mindset of being the rescue mission. Police brutality. Was this part of the rescue package you have for the country? And that's what this morning I wrote. I said, Greg Thomas to tell us which community he's sending his people to go kill, so that we inform the Liberian people not to go to that community. Because every week the police will get involved with something. This same police operated on the Ellen. This same police operated on the Georgia. Why didn't we see police brutality on the increase? Under those two administrations, the most recent past administration, the US administration, why didn't we see citizens cry in the name of the police Why didn't we see citizens and police fighting? Why didn't we see NFL and police fighting for over 30 minutes? Why didn't we see those things happening? These same guys were in the police. They were all clean when they were in the police. They were professional people when they were in the police. They respected human dignity and human rights when they were in the police. Why do you think they're behaving the way they're behaving? It's because they have a new command structure. When their bosses tell them to be disgruntled, when their bosses tell them to be violent and very brutal, they will respect their bosses' weak. That's what we see playing out. How come the same police that is on record of giving people cold water during tense political protest action? The same police that gave people cold water during political protest. Today, that police, you don't even smell protest now. They will smoke you up with tear gas. If you are caught, they will brutalize you. If they feel the post of hot bullets in you, that's what they will do. Oh, you think I'm lying? Go to Kinjong. Go and ask the people in Kinjong what happened today. When they were protesting against a company that brought a foreigner to come wash cars. We got a picture we'll show you. By tomorrow we'll start with that conversation. When they were protesting against demounting or bringing people to do jobs in Liberia that Liberians can do, that Liberians don't even need to go to school to do. And let's say, do we need to go to school in Liberia to learn how to wash land cruiser jeep with water pump machine? Do we need to go to school for that? Do we need Liberians to go to school to start facing mounting roofs? Common carpenters? People driving dump trucks? You are importing foreigners. These people went to protest, to express themselves, to petition their government on issues confronting them. When the police went there, the fire, they killed 3 innocent citizens and wounded several others. How come the same police 2-3 years before that gave people water to drink did that protest action where the president's mother was being insulted, the police director, all people in the country, they were insulting their parents? How come the same police that gave people water, the same police that protected protesters who were praying on the protest ground, how come the same police went to a concession area where citizens were complaining against a foreign dominance in their local economy? How come that same police went to the place and started killing? I want to say one thing to you and I, that the police is now under a new command structure. And that command structure is purely rooted, deeply rooted in arrogance, in violence, in brutality. It is undemocratic. And that's what you're doing to the police. You fire several rounds. You hear me? You fire several rounds, several bullets you fire. You getting me? You shot that man on several occasions. According to those who are on the ground, 8 times the people fire in a building. 8 times the fire. Over 8 times you fire gun. So when the bullet was missing, somebody will go to him. Okay, hold on, I'm coming. This is it. Listen, take a time, listen. That one man is shooting that one man. Listen, that one man is shooting that now. After shooting the man, we just put the other video where after shooting him, they handcuff him. Listen to you. You're in the point now. A police. That man is sick He's mentally not okay. The family people say like, oh, they help a police and other psychiatrists and whatever to come and help us. The police went there instead of using their police training knowledge, what they learned from police academy and other institutions. They went there with guns, unprotected. They went to the place with all protection. And so when they became vulnerable, they had no other option but to execute the man, to murder him. Look at the kind of thing they were doing. Yep. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that kind of thing? Is this the kind of country that they? I mean, these guys were preparing for us when they were jumping around here, rescue mission. Is this the kind of country? Look at the kind of thing happening. An unarmed individual. In fact, they escalated the situation at that place. They escalated the situation. They made the thing blow out of proportion. The lady explained. The lady said they called them. They also called the psychiatrist. When police receive any call from the community, the first thing you do is, what is the situation? Oh, that one of our brother, you're not too okay. You get mental problem. Once you know there is a mental health issue, you gotta take your best team, a team of individuals who are knowledgeable in handling mental health cases. You go take people who perhaps from the armed robbery or how you call it, anti-robbery squad. You go carry them there. Trigger happy, blood tested individuals. You take them to the scene. They went to the area with no total suit protection, no total suit. They didn't know they can put on the knee and the elbow. I want to total suit plus the chest vest and the helmet. Nothing to protect them. So if they're mentally ill, man, grab any knife or something, and you are in close range, because you do not have the total suit, you don't have any means to defend yourself. At the end of the day, you will take a weapon and go gun him down. Look how they were firing the man at close range. Some missing him, some hitting him. In the end, whether his resistance was strong or whatever the case is, the man came out with bullets all in his system. You still handcuff him and you took him to walk. And that's how who got bullets in the system and made him walk. And some other police officers who are on the ground, we can open the mob and say our fundamental role is to protect lives and property. At that moment, where the man is handcuffed, you still telling him to walk. What am I calling the ambulance? To put on stretcher, where the people they put a hand grip on him and other things, while they're taking him to the hospital for any possible surgery to remove the bullet. Because he was still breathing. For some reason, maybe he has some strong resistance. Just by playing the video alone, it shows how that thing was traumatic. Just by listening to that video alone. Look at that kind of thing. Look at that kind of thing. Look at that. 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 This is tyrannical. This is an evidence of tyranny. You don't do that in a democratic country. Maybe Greg is bigger, stronger than Jote. Maybe Greg is bigger, stronger, and powerful than Benjamin Yeten. Maybe Greg is bigger, stronger than Grady Allison. Perhaps that's why he's doing the things he's doing. You have turned a beautiful police force that was celebrated in 2020, 2021 for her ability to tolerate, to exercise democratic policing. This same kind of women in the police, they are good people in the police. I'm not going to demonize the police force. I will not do so. There are different police officers in the Liberian police. Some of the officers they regret executing some of the orders. Some of the officers refuse to implement some of the unlawful orders. But because the bosses are tyrannical in nature, and in the police force, they say everything like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just people complain. So even when your boss is telling you something terrible, even though there are cases where they say don't, you are not forced to implement unlawful order, it's very rare. It's very difficult. Sometimes they're going to beat on peaceful citizens, for the officers, they are feeling bad, but because the bosses they do it, so the people should be guys. I want to many protesters before. When you see police military, I will beg. I mean, we beg you. We all go back. I mean, you go back. We've seen police negotiate with protesters because they don't want to go against their own brothers and sisters. The protesters are their brothers and sisters. Some of the protesters that their girlfriend who left the community because of the government policy, they came on the road. But because when you have a police force that is being presided over by people who are brutally oriented, before these things happening, look how they killed the man. I'll be disappointed if the family sue the Republic of Nigeria by and through the Ministry of Justice by extension of the Liberian National Police. You got to sue the Liberian National Police primarily, and by extension, the Ministry of Justice and the government of Liberia will go to it. This was murder. The Liberian government should pay. You should sue them. The family should sue the government of Liberia, sue the Liberian National Police, sue the Ministry of Justice and the government of Liberia, sue them. You murdered the man cold blood. Even when the man had life, he was still breathing. Instead of you rocking him on the stretcher and taking him to the hospital, you handcuff the people's son. You handcuff him. There are certain point in time you wander in the room. Bullets off. Your stomach fractured by bullets. Spinal cord, everything. The system. Imagine the thing I play now. I think I got to play. Look, some people have strong resistance. Some people resistance strong, especially when you are not shooting the head. You know, the head is the most how you call this thing, the most statical part of the body. And by the time something touches your feeling, because the brain, you know, yeah, once blood enter the brain is difficult. But the other part of the body, people can last longer. Some people can stay up to 2-3 hours after being shot multiple times in every part of the body. They can stay up to 2-3 hours if they are under real care. Up to 2-3 hours, they can stay alive. And when they are successful in reaching up to a surgeon who can extract the bullet and administer quick treatment. In this case, a person that may have maybe 1 hour to still be living, Alexa. He had 1 hour. He according to any medical facility, he would have extracted the bullet and administer treatment. But no, here room. That room where they were doing the firing so hard, but they don't play from the room. They started dragging the people's son from the room. They dragging him. He ain't called the dragging him. When the boy also successfully, they issue order, then they strip him off the task. So you're naked him. Those guys went to kill. They didn't go to save the young man. They went to kill. You're naked him. Then after naked him, they said, "We're going to carry you. You was still in jail." The man got bullet in him. You think you thinking about it to carry him in jail? Somebody got bullet in the system and you talking about going to jail? Oh no, I heard Brother Kuma went to JFK and go have candlelight for the other officers who the man shot. Am I in support of citizen chopping officers? No. Citizens should not fight law enforcement officers because these law enforcement officers went to police academy and the different security, institutional, or teaching areas. The sole purpose of protecting the very citizens. Citizens should not fight the security actors. I would never support any citizen to fight any policeman, any DEA man, any immigration man, fire service man, coast guard man, AFL man, or whatever. I would never support it. Because those people, they would have been journalists, they would have decided to be talk show hosts, they would have decided to be doctors, but they went to serve the country to protect you and I. So I would never support any citizen launching an attack on them. However, what was done, which I believe was as a result of a don't care, brutal attitude that the police is learning from their bosses, particularly Greg, is as a result of this issue of brutality. The first ever protest of Greg to handle. Hey man, 3 human beings. 0. Imagine the 3 men who say, "We will Joe Biden government, let me see what will happen." Right? We will Joe Biden government, let me see what do you think will happen in the government. We come in job, oh come in watch you. They didn't even live 2 extra months to see what will happen to the Joe Biden government. They died. That Greg is assignment. The major assignment, the first major protest of the K3 citizens. And since then, he had been apologizing. The last time he went Broadway, he go need that again because the police and another person. And so the video, he went Broadway, he go need that. The other time he was the rehab, he go need that again because the police and other people, the old man son, they begin the problem. They had to call the place in the Bandra area on the beach. They got the ball. Gary went to the play again. He now down. And all of these things we're saying, you are putting the police at risk. Look at what happened to the other Texan police officers of our time. Who knows what that Texas girl was thinking about? I don't know whether it was deliberate or accidental, but when you start to give police marching orders, most of the orders will be so brutal. You are indirectly risking the lives of the officers. These officers were never trained to protect the United Party government. They were trained to protect the body of Liberia. So when one officer dies or is injured, the republic is affected. When one citizen dies or is injured, the republic is also affected because if that person was supposed to be a scientist and he is crippled or something happened to him, he cannot perform that thing. The country will also lose. And that's why we are against it. But I see some of you, like having we say Buccaneers and charlatans on the line in your text, you're supporting the issue of telling the men because you think when your government empower the police, you know the police is not a partisan police. The police is for the state. And so because you think that your government empower, so anything the police will choose to do, it will be in your favor because it suits your political interest. Go ahead, continue. There will be a day your government will not be in power. If that police continue to act ruthless and reckless, who you think will be affected if there should be any citizen uprising? Are you? Because you will be going against a brutal force, a force that you have not. And that will lead us, before we go take our course election, that will lead us to the Yombi Kanga Lawrence and the rest of the other conversation. Just the same way some of you from the United Party people are supporting the police for killing an innocent citizen. Because you think the police is a UP force. That's how Yombi there, by their silence, supported Yeke, Key, and other people to be insulting former government officials in this country. I know several rallies went along, Yombi there, all the people were sitting down and talking. And Yeke used to go and insult the former president and other people. They would smile, they would laugh, including President Baka. They would laugh about it. The T5 will always say, John a minute, where the party signature to removing the Poseku Kane there as deputy speaker. Yeke Delone went to Foya, local county. President Baka was there. Benin Euro president. When Yeke started swearing and in fact calling Tifa a Guinea, how they will close the border, you will not return to Guinea. He can see his role, all of the insult Yeke said about Tifa. President Baka for he was smiling. I mean, he didn't say, look, that's not what we're here for. The power we want will not allow people to insult leaders. You are a lawmaker, he's a lawmaker, and we got issue with like in the court, we just will passing. President did not say that. We all laugh about it. Every program that Yeke attended where the guys were, you will always insult, they will all laugh about it. In fact, Prophet Kiyoso was saying he donated money to the Joe Biden campaign. The acceptance of that money is an indication that President Baka endorsed all of what he had been doing against people who are not in President Baka's political line. By extension, it means they've been endorsing people, insulting people. Today, another lady in the country, from nowhere, for whatever reason, choose to say inappropriate things about the former president. In the process of saying those things, she said too many things that were profane. Now, I'm not going to say I will support people who will do cost for cost. I'm not going to support that. But people who are also members and supporters of President Weah said we will not stand there and one guy be causing President Weah. Who is this guy? So they were able to find out in the notice that the guy is an employee of Yombi Lawrence at the Senate. So the man said, okay, see, Yombi get you job and you costing President Weah. For all we're not costing, because the woman who get you job. According to what I hear, Yombi said she can sue military who costing her because the guy who's costing people. Look, I don't think we have reached the level to be suing people for costing. Because the last time I checked Alexander Cummings, Darius DeLong, they justified Prophet Key. They were asked on separate occasions. They said that is the way he can do a show. We cannot force him to use different words. In fact, the defendant Yaka will cause we are every time the men defendant Yaka decided these are problem with. There is no record in this country to show saying the Yombi Lawrence as a state woman, a senator in the Senate. In fact, at the time it was happening, at certain point in time, she was the only lady in the Senate before Boto Kane. She was the only lady in the Senate. The Senate is referred to as the House of Wisdom. We needed Senator Kanga Lawrence to have demonstrated that wisdom, especially being the only female in the House of Wisdom. I stand to be corrected. I will reserve all the jobs I have in this country. If there is a paper, a publication, a news article where Yombi Kanga Lawrence, our honorable president of the Liberian Senate, criticized our fellow political associates for insulting the sitting government, I will reserve all the jobs I got in the country. All. If I see any record of such. Now, what she didn't know, what Yombi Kanga Lawrence, the president, didn't know, that by her silence, she was nurturing a country where anybody can insult any leader and it will go scot-free. She was nurturing a country where insults against prominent people will become the order of the day. That's what she and the rest of her folks, including the law, including President Baka, that's what they were nurturing. When Judy Andy decided to take Prophet Key to court, the legal advisor to the president, what is his name, Buju Ben Keita, he said that freedom of expression to the point where others felt hurt and they wanted to take action to say freedom of expression. Yombi was the president of the Liberian Senate. The legal advisor to the president is not law and gospel. Yombi had the authority to have summoned the legal advisor to say, why are you misinterpreting the law? Secondly, why are you interfering with the judicial system of our country? Because it is understood that he himself said he placed a call to the county prosecutor to ask him, hey, Anthony, why are you persecuting the man? Don't you know that that was an interference? Her oversight responsibility as the handler of the gamble should have made her invite that man for questioning. Now, when you sit and allow these things because you know they were not things happening to you, you sit and allow and remain silent, you got no moral authority to speak out or to cry woe when the barrel of the gun is turned in your direction. And that's why Yombi didn't do it today. Do I support people in something like Yombi Kanga Lawrence? I will never do so. Politics aside, Senator Kanga Lawrence is one of the most beautiful women I know in this country. Beyond being beautiful, she is resilient. She's strong. To be the only female amongst 29 men for almost 3 years is not an easy task. Especially, you lost your husband, you were in the midst. She's strong. She's the definition of courage. She's powerful. She's lucky. She's blessed. I would never allow anybody to insult her. I would never support anybody to insult her. But what I would not do is to allow her proceed hypocritically on critical issues, especially this one. She doesn't have the moral capacity to speak to it. This woman was not an ordinary person in the CPP arrangement. She was an integral part of that movement. In fact, she was the political leader of the Labour Party when Yekade, Propekide, and other men used to insult President Weah daily. Every day they will insult. Or today, people then just pass out small. And she called the lawyer to ask the lawyer. Because what again, I can sue for it. No, you can sue for it. Oh no, okay, now you get the government, you break all the law now. There is no law in the country. Now you got all the laws, you got all the judges now, you got everything. So maybe you can go far charges. But in the court of public opinion, backed by public morality, you do not have a case. You are morally bankrupt to far charges because you do not have the moral standing. We said it. We made it clear. That anything you're doing, that's how we used to say, that anything you're doing, oh, you're still on the next line, the other American is still oh, anything you're doing, look, to the point where the other lawmaker, 2023 election, he insulted the sitting vice president. Real cause. Hey man, Kanga Lawrence was she was a senator. This vice president was the head of the Senate. Two of them were in the same chamber. There is no record to show Senator Yomi Kanga Lawrence criticizing. Look, when these critical things are happening, leaders are out to speak. Because it is from you, the leaders, the people will follow. You didn't say anything about it. You guys know for this issue. It is because of you people are no longer in fact the first president in this country. Look, I was surprised the Mama Malu protest. And let's say when I saw people row, they call the president in, they said I row, they call the president in, I row. I have not seen that in this country for a long time. Now, the reason why the guys got bold to say that to President Bwaka is because they heard people say that to President Weah. You were the first who presided over the people who were saying that to President Weah. Are you there? You only there on record for criticizing. In fact, you only said, Senator Lawrence said, more people than brave enough on the day she wasted her water on Saturday. Or maybe it was good because he wouldn't attitude and definitely showing that he needed that hot water, by the way. But Yemi said, when she wasn't hot water on the man, she was only trying to tell them that we need to be more arrogant. We need to be more aggressive. And that's why when they were insulting left and right, or people were insulting president, insulting other people, I mean, in as much as we don't appreciate people going back to insult Madam Yomi Kanga because she's a female, a very strong woman, but she should not cry. And if she go to court, she should not go to court. If she go to court, well, that's her business. But the truth of the matter is, I am hoping, and I'll be submitting on this particular one. I'm hoping that when this is all over, Senator Yomi Kanga Lawrence and the rest of all the other people going forward, they will learn their lesson. That when your child is insulting your neighbor, don't say, become a neighbor and I'm saying confusion, so my child is right for insulting my neighbor. There are two things you're doing. You're spoiling the child, one. Number two, the other, your neighbor cheering, looking at your child causing their part. Those cheering to learn how to talk. All of them learn ABC to an SSO. One day, they will look you in the face while your child is around and it will cost you. You know why? Because your child caused their part before. You didn't want your child in front of them. So indirectly, you spoil the next man's child by not restricting your child, you spoil the next man's child. Because you all live in the same community. The children are coming out together. And the people that who say you children see your children cussing and you're not beating your children cussing, you just say you're not beating them, you're not calling them to order. That person will say, but you know, the way any lesser children can cause people in front of us, and me to cause people that beating. They will start causing people. And when they do the cause any lesser, they will cause her because she did not train her child. Indirectly, her child bad influence to the other people. So it's so seriously matter causing Senator Lawrence and other people today. Maybe it's because of the bad peer pressure in the land from the UP guys. You know, that what they're doing it. But at the end of the day, the country you're prepared and the country you're encountering, we shouldn't cry about it. Yeah, enjoy it. That's the country you want. That's the country you're we were crying, you don't cause we are, you don't be causing the mail, you can disagree with him, and let me civil. They say, oh, yeah, doing it because you're supporting the man. You come to your town now, that ain't coming up. That ain't coming, they come to your town. So you seen it? So when they won't pass, The next time I say, you're making a lot of an individual who is supporting your same political idea, asking other person to say, hey, you stop it. Because at the end of the day, when you not stop it, that you will receive the bad blast. I ain't gonna say more. After the election, we'll go give some money, we'll go take calls and be out of here.
So I'm just gonna start with what you just ended with, and for our ardent followers, for people who listen to this radio, people who follow our different programs, and especially those who follow Freedom Hub all the time. We have said here, we do not support anyone insulting, a leader. We've said that with reference to what happened when we had President George Manawea, Liberia's president. We referenced different people at about those moments. And we have always said that. But one thing I've always said as well is it is impossible, even if you're going to provide pieces of advice to maybe supporters of a particular political party or supporters of a particular politician or a particular person. It is impossible to 100% penetrate a huge number of people, even when their political leader is being insulted on a daily basis, because there are people who will listen when their political leader tells them, hey, do not insult anybody on my behalf. There are also people who will not listen, right? So I don't want to sound funny, but what goes around comes around. If you supported someone who insulted, for me, I would like to disregard the part about political leader in fact. If you supported someone indirectly who insulted a lot of prominent and eminent people in this country, you as a woman in fact, insulted women and girls in Liberia, and you sat there really silent because you're like, maybe it is none of my business, or you supported that indirectly. And when the table turned, and it is your do that. No. If somebody crossed a political leader yesterday, you were still against it. We also advised against it. And the people are saying we're going to pay back this time around. You cannot hold all of them 100% at the same time saying, hey, tonight, it is impossible. Because they will have to pay back on their own timeline. They will have to do that. And I think that's exactly what's happening now, Oliver. Because a lot of things happen in this country. And people who should have, been loud about it, a lot of them sat back. And a close friend of Yomli Kanga Lawrence, I remember he included what the guy named on his campaign, something like that. And people were questioning, why do you have this man? What do you accept this man? I think it was an endorsement or whatever, and that man was basically campaigning for him on the social media. And Liberians were concerned because you claim to be an icon of integrity. You claim to be a light. So people were concerned. And that particular individual told Liberians, that man you're talking about who is in Morocco is an adult. So I don't determine how he speaks. So that was basically that. And that has happened for a very long time. For a very long time. So today you see people going back and forth, trying to pay back. You cost me, I cost you, you cost my political leader, I cost the other political leader, you cost my leader, I cost whoever that's behind you, whoever that's supporting you. I think that's like a circle. That's a circle. And is it going to end? I'm not sure it is going to end. But the people who are now becoming moral voices, that's where my disappointment is. You cannot be a moral voice now in this case. I think if it is someone else saying something about it who does not support any of these things from whatever party, will listen and will take that into consideration. But not you as a person who has been here, not you as a person who has, indirectly supported or maybe directly supported a couple of people who are basically insulting leaders every now and then. So you do not have that voice to speak against these things. And the most recent one, Oliver talked about, this Prophet Key and Julie Emily. That was a big case in Liberia. We had some Liberian women out there with different, poster sheets, and they had different things rated on them. What happened at the end of the day? People talked about freedom of speech. And so there's nothing can be done legally. And you were still here in this country. You're still here today. So I think we need to pass that era. So if it is someone else with me, I will listen. That doesn't mean I support people, insulting back and forth. I don't know how to insult like that. I don't support it. But again, there's always something that comes back to you when you supported it before. So that's exactly how it is. People can hear you do one apple. They can hear everybody apple. So basically that's that. And I would just like to come to Moba, who is now deceased. I think it is a sad thing. And while I was under the weather, while I was unwell, I was basically invested, in the social media as I always am. And I saw across different clips. I saw different videos from different angles, and that was really sad and disheartening. Because if a person is mentally unstable at a particular time, it takes professionals to handle and stabilize that person. If someone tells you Alexa is mentally unstable now, Alexa is unwell, and we try our best to stabilize Alexa, we could not do it because we're not professionals. So we're calling on you to please help us in this process. Please help us. You're called because you're called to provide a solution. You're called as a remedy to calm the situation until the point where the person is okay. And that's exactly what happened with this the police and Moba, who is now dead, unfortunately. We have had moments since 2024, from King Jaw to Rehab to St. Paul Bridge. We have had moments, unfortunate moments, where police officers gone down Liberians. And at the end of the day, Greg will go there, and I'm here to sympathize. He will go there and be like, oh, this was unintentional. We heard unintentional too many times. That was one of the words used by Greg whenever these things happened. Whenever a police officer or a couple of police officers were going down a particular Liberian, that was one of the words used a lot of times by Greg. Oh, it was unintentional, and that shouldn't have happened. To apologize and all that. Now, coming to Moba's own case, that was different. From the onset, when I opened my phone, Liberians, basically we have different narratives. The first thing I saw was, oh, they may have tried to kill 3 police officers. No, in fact, the first one I saw, it was on one of these blogs that the man killed 3 police officers, so they killed him back. I was like, whoa, what is this? And later on, I went ahead, browsed, and just saw different ones, and then I started to follow reputable or some of the online platforms that are said to be reputable. And then I saw some of the things. I watched different videos, and I was taken aback because when I saw the first post, my question was, were the officers informed prior to going on the scene that this guy is not okay? That was my first concern, because if that is established, you now understand how you're going to deal with these different narratives and all that. And it was said that, of course, these guys were called because the community dwellers could not handle the situation. So they called the police officers. Please, we need people to help us stabilize this situation. So you were called as a solution table, if you want to say it that way. You were called as a solution table. And going there, you were to carry the best people who understand psychology, people who are to be professional, especially when you're handling a particular person who is not mentally stable. So you should be able to understand the situation. We talked about crisis management, whether it is an emotional problem or physical problem. There are things that could be avoided. You went there to provide solution. You usually have tear gas. When people protest, I think you can use it, right? Maybe the distance between you and Orba, that was like something that was not really close, so you wouldn't be able to use pepper spray. But you had tear gas. If you really wanted to calm that situation, was it not okay to use tear gas just to make him to stay calm until you get him and try to provide the solution that was needed? Did you guys not really consider that as an option? I do not support citizens who are trying to beat up police officers or to hurt police officers. No, I'm against that 100%, and I'll always be against that. But another thing you could have done, even if we're going to discuss all of these different recommendations, Moba is already dead. But maybe something else is going to happen again. You could have stayed far from that guy. When a person is mentally unstable, you use words to calm the situation. Don't go near them and say, make it next year. Stay far off. You say, please do this and do that. You do all those things. Did you do all those things? The police officers who were there, did you use that method because that man felt he was in danger? Normally, when you're not okay in your head, everybody coming to harm you. That's why you needed a professional, maybe a psychologist. You needed maybe a professional psychiatrist to be on ground. Even if you go to the police academy, I'm sure you guys are taught all of these things. You're not only taught, how to shoot guns or how to beat on people, how to be physical. I'm sure you're also taught, the psychological aspect of these different things you do. Because there are people you will deal with and they're not okay in the head. So you have to be able to manage the situation. So did you guys not think about that? And you shot that man over 5 times and you still handcuffed him. You ought to finish with me now. I'm helpless. I cannot do anything to you. I cannot hurt you. But you still handcuffed that man. And people are saying you'll be in prison. You're going still on injury. And that man died. Sadly, he died. And everybody started to talk about what happened, what should have been done. Even though you were told what was wrong with that man. So, how then do we grade you? Like, how then? Because there are different moments where you will be called and people will not even want to call you. People will not want to call you now moving forward. Because people will be scared that if I'm going to call the police, when they get here, they're probably going to shoot me. They're probably going to do something to me. So, like, how do we move from here to somewhere else? When people said Greg is a very professional man, he is very experienced and sophisticated, we expected that he will be able to lead the police force with professionalism on all fronts. Okay? We look forward to having a police force that will be able to handle crisis management, that will be able to handle different situations. But now here we are. We've had a couple of citizens who have been killed by the guns that should be protecting them. And then we're still talking about, they're supposed to kill the men because the men are some men. My condolences to the family. I'm sorry I'm sounding this way. They tell you the men are okay. Can't help you're supposed to help now. You start the whole thing. When they called, they say, we want you to kill him. We want you to shoot him. No. When you're in a moment where there are ways you determine how you're going to handle the situation. But was that the best way to handle that situation involving Moba, who was said to be unstable mentally? And then his child's mother, who is a nurse, by the way, came up and she explained the situation. And still, the people in the answer saying you're supposed to kill him, you think you're kidding. If that was your family member, if that was your son, your father, your brother. What exactly were you going to say? It's not okay. As we're telling citizens, hey, respect the police, especially when police go to arrest you. You have to accept it. You don't need to beat up police. You don't need to hurt police officers. You don't need to brutalize police officers. We're also telling police officers, we're also telling government to be as professional as it claims to be. So if the police force cannot be professional, if the police force cannot handle certain situations as they should be handled, I don't know what we're going with now. People will be taking laws into their own hands. Just yesterday, I saw another video of a guy who, according to them, he usually steals motorbike. Here, we're not playing that because we won't live. And they killed that guy. Okay, stealing is wrong. You saw what happened. They didn't call the police. They took the laws into their own hands and they killed that guy. So now people wouldn't want to call the police. People would just want to sit back and do their own thing their own way. And that is not okay. Liberia is a country of laws. And I think the police, the government, and everyone in power should give us, the environment where we respect the law, where we look up to the law to protect us where it is signed. But here we are, and everyone is now living in fear, Oliver. So I don't know what else to say.
Okay, we'll take a break. When we come back, Crime Stoppers Liberia, when we come back, we go and take calls. There are winners who DJ Hero will be announcing very shortly. Keep playing *255*1#. Let's take a break to be right back.
Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Science, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Science.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia.
Okay, we want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia. We now want police people shooting over 8 times, missing some of the rounds, aiming, still suppressing the victim. Call us on 086 500 104 0776 104 104 are the numbers to join the conversation on 87.9. The German ambassador finished talking. The German ambassador finished talking. Most of the Google team, especially the UN seat, the non-permanent seat, are things that were secured by the former government. 086 500 104 0776 104 104 are the numbers to join the conversation. Let's go to the lines right now and start to take the first batch of calls on the program. Let's see who this first person is. Go ahead. Let's hear you. 1 minute.
Yeah, okay, how you doing, my dear brother?
We're great. Okay, let's hear you.
Okay, thank you. Topic on the discussion. My name is Toga. I'm driving to the street towards Junction.
Go ahead, Toga.
Oh, my brother, we have to understand that the police, they are human beings.
I agree.
That's why we understand that sometimes there are some irregularities. We're supposed to report to mistakes in our areas of social life, even where you are, mistakes are made there. The disadvantage on the police is too much. I'll be real with you. Now, it's very bold. I condemn them.
I like the fact that you said the disadvantage on the police is too much. The same police force existed 6 years under the U.S. administration. Why didn't we see disadvantage, against them?
No, Chief, if we gotta go back, they will not be making progress.
No. We cannot discuss this country without looking at the past. It is the past that usher in today. The same police that is now shooting protesters on site provided water to protesters before. But there should be a fundamental reason why things have changed.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me give you a quick memory. Do you remember the shooting that occurred in Ryla where Robert and Leslie, right? Let me just use that word. A business center in Ryla and about 4 or 5, or let's say Robert was.
But you expect police to get
cutlass, right?
How can
And
you
let's say carry cutlass and knife on a citizen who is also serving his country.
No. Hold on. Don't misquote the thing, my brother. This man was in his room. This man was in his room. The defendant decided to call for help. The police is the force that is professional. The police guys are the ones who want the police academy to treat specific cases in specific manner. They are the ones who are supposed to have understood that we are going to handle a case of a mentally ill patient. They are the ones who are supposed to know. The police do not have what?
Do you know that the police is not a medical doctor?
So if you are not a carpenter and they call you to go do carpenter job somewhere, you accept to go do carpenter job and you start the people saying, we come and tell you that you are not, you willfully, intentionally decided to go and do it, or you knew you do not have the capacity, you'll be held liable. Thank you very much. We'll leave you right there. Thank you. Let's talk to this other person from the US. Go ahead. Randy Dapo, let's hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Khan, thank you so much. I know you guys are pressed with time, but I will try to squeeze everything in. When I listen to the guy that just spoke, this is what we call policy system issue. He talked about the people they are not doctors. I was really clearly to find the incompetency of every woman because people who are mentally ill, there has to be social worker who work along with the police to ensure where the person is right. So Gregory Coma is very incompetent. I will look forward to the next administration, and that is if Mr. Bogart does not fire Gregory Coma, and he continues to use police negligence to kill people, Gregory Coma should be prosecuted after the administration if Bogart does not take any action, because there was no reason why that guy should have gotten killed over there. The man is mentally unstable, and then you start killing the guy. When you listen to the shooting, it was very, very bad and stuff like that. And Melissa also mentioned action of the people killing another guy outside in the public. That is police distrust, and that is going to drive away investor crime. The German people that came out to recognize George Weah, what the Latvian people need to understand. When Mr. Kimia and the CDC administration were looking for supporters, the German played a major role. That's right. The reason the German came out because President Walker ignored the people effort and they heard them, and that's why they came out to let them know that we were there. But I just want to show that Walker does not believe in inclusiveness. Now, when it comes to Nnamdi, years ago, she supported Prophet King, and now she thinks that what happening today will not include her. This woman needs to understand that she has reached a level where she needs to be very disciplined and very responsible. So whatever happened to her, she had no case. People expressing their freedom of speech, according her this, according her that, it means nothing. That means that she wants to trample upon the people, as person. Whoever insults her, as long as insult is not posing any threat to say, oh, I'm going to do something bad to her. But they say, for example, I'm just saying example, Nnamdi Kanga is a nasty, dirty woman. It's not a threat to her. Because we're not expecting a this satisfaction. So, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys.
We'll leave you right there from the US to go back to the US. This person, go ahead. 1 minute. How are you? No time.
Khan, thank you so much. Thank you, Alexa, for the show. So, Khan, two things I saw in Liberia, a very broken heart. There was a guy that was killed brutally on the street.
That's right.
And people recorded that guy, and we have never seen police even make an arrest. People had knives cutting the guy's feet, beating the guy's head, taking back, and riding motorbike over the guy's head. That was so barbaric for our society. What is happening in our country?
Just trust.
Police can spend money on lethal weapon, big guns. Why they can't buy taser? So if somebody not in compliance, you can cleanse them and do them and keep them alive or stay prosecuted. These are things that the very common in this country. You know what happened? They got taser, they got pepper spray, they got stun gun. These things can make criminals who don't want to comply to police. You don't have to take the life of somebody. And the worst thing about that case, after you shot the man 8 times, you drag him outside and the police officer said, take his pants down. And they had him on cross. And they forced him to walk.
Yep.
And he collapsed.
Yep.
This is barbaric also. This is the distrust the citizens have against the police.
And my brother driving to ERWA will justify that the police are here. Are we saying people should attack police? No.
But if you listen, you already cleared that out.
Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the last one, brother, is the insult. Man, disappointment and the hypocrisy I see other people playing. And I will speak to sedition. Some seditions, they are honest, these pathetic. Oh, you don't cost, you never can you don't do this one. Where were you guys when all these people were putting insult against our permanent citizen? President, we are his dead mother, his dead grandmother. What did President Gria's dead mother and mother did to these people to pay money to start the city in Morocco, so all around the world? Yes, to the extent Joseph Boakai, extreme daughter, the one on the big cosmic Facebook now, or Nick Jacqueline said he paid with the key to insult President Weah. Is that thing that we can sit down and for us to reduce this? I think it should be from the head. Joseph Boakai should call all his people and bring them together. I'm fine, say it is time for us to stop this thing. We are sorry for what we did. We promoted this thing and it's about time to stop. And then at least it will stop. But as long as people really like President Weah because he's gaining momentum to come back to power and you're bringing your attack dog, don't forget on the other side, there are people who are loaded and prepared to do the same.
Thank you. Thank you very much from Connecticut. We leave you to talk to this other person. Go ahead, 1 minute quickly.
Okay, how you doing?
We're good, my dear brother. Let's hear you.
I want to say hi to okay. The shooting of that, it means that Gregory Coleman is not a trained police officer. Because I can recall that Gregory Coleman came on radio and said the police are giving strict orders that any attack on them, they should be defending themselves fully. They are well prepared and equipped. That's what he said. And based on those information, those orders are going up to the police. That's why the police are doing what they're doing. Now, for the point, okay, we guys here, some of us went to mental meaning. Okay, the guy. The police got a royal gear. The police should not go over there with army to go there with royal gear. So that even if that may no weapon, that stick, we made it automatically to black out that royal gear. And the petroleum to come us after that, other people will have that. We can go in for the back.
We call that Tata suit here. They got it. They got a Tata suit. I want to get wear when the go first suit on the campus.
Right. You got a lot of it. Got a shoe. That shoe what they use to but they got all the black. They have always told them that this man is going to put us thinking that we can clear you to make our home is mentally ill. We are aware. He told me that this man has life. He has told them previously. So the police is in the room. So they have to come out and walk out and let channel back. It's a market to the death of Magdalene. That couldn't be normal because anybody walk for you. You're not fighting. Yeah. The first thing the police arrived and men who was really, they broke the door.
They breached the men privacy. Yeah, the breach of men privacy. Thank you.
When you go and knock the door, when you go to the mental health, when you see the parent is in the room, if you lock the door, because you lock the door, when the man says, I don't want you in my room, the Lord says, turn around. Turn around and leave because it means that person don't want to talk to you. They look for somebody with a voice that will recognize and will say, okay, you can come in. That's how they treat it. That's what the police is supposed to be treated. But you get somebody from other people and when they come out of the okay, you remember the last days of Gregor Coleman in your police director? When you come in and you know what happened in that short period of time?
I know.
You want to see the and that's the people who are going back. They shouldn't follow you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll leave you right there. Let's go to the last two persons, then we go. Go ahead. Let's say you quickly. You want to start with the last. We have time.
Okay. I'm guys.
We're great, my brother.
Yeah, this is Prince from North Dakota.
Go ahead, Prince.
Yeah, being a health service professional, that whole incident, I don't blame nobody. I blame the state because if the state value these people's life, this was not going to happen. Because if somebody call you in the community saying a mental disability man is here, and you send a police officer there, and they go with harm. So, first thing first, if the police get there, shout the man name, police, we have to help you. This is what they should do. But you cannot go there with violence, saying that this man is harmless, and then you go there with violence. So knowing the man knowing that police is coming, there's no action the man going to take towards you, they will harm you too. So at the end of the day, the people should understand this. So if you're going there, telling the man that you there to save you, and the man telling you that I don't want to go wherever you want to take me, I want to go to the church.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Leave alone. When you force, it means your job ends right there. You know,
exactly. Leave me alone. And then for somebody within the community will come and talk to him.
Simple.
If the person talk and they don't listen, just leave him. Leave him the fuck. Excuse my expression. Leave me alone. Just close the door and just leave him there. If he hurt me, that's fine. Nobody harm him.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right. That's
when
right.
you're going there, you're shooting up man 8 times, 8 freaking times. What else can a person do when you shot them 8 times and then you put a hand out in the fucking hand? That what does that mean? It hurt a lot. This is somebody else's from a father. This is somebody else's from a relative.
That was pure murder. Pure murder, my brother. Pure murder.
Thank you. When you talk to other people, say, oh yeah, the police right, the police right. The police ain't no damn right.
Okay. I understand.
Thank you.
I understand. Thank you very much. I understand. I mean, I understand. I agree with everything you said. I ain't going to take one day. I agree with all. Go ahead. You're the last caller. Quickly. Let's hear you and go home.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. This is Edmota. Young lady, I don't know what she's talking about, because normally if she is a moral person, the first thing she would do, the person that is making in her office, insulting people, especially the former president of the Republic of Liberia, she will first of all checkmate that person that in her office, insulting the president. But when she failed to checkmate her, meaning she is the one that is instructing her to insult President Where? So if other people come after her, no, but she say, here we are on this show here. Because you want to maintain your integrity in the institution that you are serving in. You always say, no, don't say that, don't say that. Why? Because you want to maintain your integrity in the institution. But you are the president of the Republic of Liberia. You are the senator. Then you say to somebody to throw in your office. The only thing they have to do is to take on the social media to insult one person we are going to war because he is something he know. That's what he has let us see. Then you are lying and coming after people who are doing the same thing to you because of such years. Remember, she wasted her water or another person was more in her skin before, so she got more. No, this thing that happened to the police is damaging. They are overlooking it. My brother, how many shots did the charge against a guy? The shooting is there. One single man, according to you, you went to go and arrest him and carry him to jail. Okay. How many shots did they charge against him?
Thank you.
No.
Yeah, totally out of time.
We'll be back here on tomorrow. Stay safe.
Okay. All right, so we'll be returning on tomorrow. Like let's just have a wonderful time. DJ Hero will come in and pay you sufficient money on the platform.